Hello everyone, in this video we shall explore some of the job titles that you should pay close attention to in your search for a GRC role in cybersecurity. Instead of simply listing job titles in this video, we shall use some of the framework standards and regulations we identified from our previous video as a guide to help us run keyword searches and find some of these job titles in GRC. Let's have a recap on standards, frameworks, and regulations in GRC. From our previous video, we looked at NIST, and they had a number of frameworks: Cybersecurity Framework, Privacy Framework, and Risk Management Framework. We also looked at COBIT, which has to do with IT governance. We also looked at ISO, and under ISO, there are several standards. There's the ISO 27001, which is globally recognized as a standard for setting up an information security management system. There's also the ISO 27701, which has to do with privacy information management system. There's a 29100 privacy, and 22301, which has to do with business continuity management system. There's the PCI DSS, which has to do with handling of cardholder data, ensuring that cardholder data is secure. And we also have SOC 2, we have GDPR, we have HIPAA. HIPAA has to do with health information. So you're likely to find rules in the health industry if you are knowledgeable in HIPAA, and there are country-specific regulations. So at this point, let's head onto LinkedIn and perform some job searches using these standards as keywords. Let's explore the job titles as well as the industries that these jobs are found and the certifications that you may require to secure these jobs. So on LinkedIn, you'd want to navigate to the Jobs tab, and then in the search box, we'll start with our first keyword, which will be NIST, and we'll just want to explore what we'll find for NIST. So in the country, let's make it worldwide to have a lot of options. So in your search results, a number of jobs may be listed out, and you may find your keyword term, which is NIST, in either the job title, in the skills section, or in the description. And you may have to go through them one by one to identify whether they actually suit what you're looking for. So we'll sample just one or two and look through. So in this first one, we're saying information engineer or information assurance, NIST, risk management framework. So straight away, you know you'd have to have some knowledge of NIST risk management framework. But this is a mid-senior level role, but let's just explore what it has in there. So in terms of job qualifications, you need to know information assurance, information security, security information. These are keywords specified by the employer. And I don't see specific certifications listed here. However, you need to have 7 years of experience and be a US citizen. And there are several expertise that are required. So you should have expertise in security policy. And GRC, as we've identified in our previous video, has to do with a lot of policies, helping in reviewing and structuring policies. And this is one of the things stated in the job description. So you should stay current with the headquarters policies and provide recommendations for new or updates to local policies, procedures, and standards. And let's go further down and see the qualifications needed. So in terms of education, you need a bachelor's degree. And in terms of certifications, it is listed in here. So although it wasn't listed up there, you see some certifications listed here. So you need a CISSP, a CISM, or a GSLC. So let's look at another job. And in here, we have the Societe Generale Global Solutions Center in Romania. And let's look at what it's also requiring. So it's also a mid-senior level role. And in here, we just want to explore what this job entails. So in terms of the profile required, you need at least 3 years experience within the risk security domain, and you should be able to perform compliancy audits in ISO and NIST. And you should also have good knowledge of IT security frameworks like ISO and NIST. So you realize that those standards and frameworks we identified previously are very relevant to this role. I would like to add that you may customize these job searches depending on your geographical location or experience level, using the experience level at the top and the location. Okay, so let's use another standard to perform a job search. So in this case, we use the ISO 27001, which has to do with Information Security Management System. So in our search term, we'll type ISO 27001, and in our location, let's keep it at worldwide to have a lot of job results. Okay, so in our search results, we have over 21,000 results, but we want to narrow it down to an entry-level experience. So we would use the search criteria, we'll change to either internship, entry-level, associate. These are mostly entry-level experience. You wouldn't need a lot of experience for these roles. So let's see what kind of results we would have. Okay, so now our results have been narrowed down a bit, and let's explore. So in the first one, we have a cybersecurity specialist in Tanzania, and let's look at what the role entails. Okay, so in this role, it's saying that as a cybersecurity specialist, you'll be tasked with designing and implementing security protocols and procedures to ensure the organization's digital infrastructure remains secure. So this sounds like you'd be doing some documentation of policies and procedures. So let's look further at the responsibilities. And in the responsibilities section, it's saying that you'll be developing security measures and you'll be designing and implementing robust security protocols and measures to protect computer systems, networks, and data. And this is what ISO 27001 is all about. Okay, so when you go further down, you see that there's policy and procedure development. So you'll be creating and maintaining security policies, procedures, and standards. You'll be performing training and awareness. You'd be researching on emerging threats and a host of other things. And in here, it talks about collaboration. You'll be working closely with IT teams, management, and other stakeholders to implement security measures and resolve security issues. So in here, you realize that having a technical understanding of IT is very important. Although GRC is mostly said to be a non-technical role, you will be liaising with very technical people and not technical people, and your knowledge in all these areas may come very much in handy. So in terms of qualifications, you need a bachelor's degree in computer science, information technology, cybersecurity, or a related field, and you need some certifications. Yes, there's the CISSP, which is more advanced, but you might decide to go with CEH, which is a certified ethical hacker, or a very entry-level one, which is the CompTIA Security Plus. And when it comes to experience, it says you need some proven work experience in cybersecurity or information security roles with a deep understanding of cybersecurity principles, technologies, and practices. So you realize in here, it's not specifying the number of years of experience you need. And when it comes to cybersecurity, home labs and building a portfolio helps you to gain some experience. So you may not have cybersecurity experience in the corporate environment. However, your home labs can demonstrate your understanding of cybersecurity principles, technologies, and practices, which is why documenting home labs and building a portfolio is very important in cybersecurity. Okay, so let's look at another role. So we have cybersecurity analyst, Deloitte, a Big Four firm, and it's hiring for an entry level. And let's look at what this role entails. Okay, so in this role, you'll be required to assist clients in developing cybersecurity strategies and multi-year implementation and remediation programs based on business priorities and risk. So there's some form of risk management in here. There's some form of framework development in here. So in this role, you'd also advise clients in defining security governance and target operating model positioning within the organization. And you assess and architect or implement ISMS based on industry standards like the ISO 27001. And there are several other things you may be doing. Let's look at the skills and certifications you may require. So in terms of skills, you should have a first cybersecurity experience within corporate organizations. It's not listing how many years of experience. You just need to have some form of cybersecurity experience. It may be an internship that you have. And you should also be able to demonstrate ability to understand and assess cybersecurity from both a technical and business perspective. And another thing is to be able to demonstrate strong cybersecurity skills, ideally in the following domains. And we have security governance and management, identity and access management, the cyber threat management, network and infrastructure security, cloud security, and secure system development lifecycle. And these are all skills that you learn from taking certifications like the SC 400 from Microsoft, SC 900, there's the SC 200. These all help you to understand identity and access management. And there's also the CompTIA Security Plus. However, in this description, it has some certifications listed out, which may make you a strong candidate, such as the CISSP, CISM, the CCNP, GIAC. I think CompTIA Security Plus is also a good certification to have, even though it is not listed in here. So in here, you realize it's a global firm. You may even be able to relocate. It says in here that it has over 2,500 employees and 70 nationalities, which shows that this is a very multicultural environment. So you may decide to try your hands on this job. Okay, so the next standard we'll quickly want to look at is PCI DSS. So let's type PCI DSS and keep it at worldwide and see our search results. Okay, so in this search results, we have a job for the Big Four company KPMG, and we have a cybersecurity strategy and governance associate, and this is in the UAE. And in here, you should have just 6 months to 3 years of experience in cybersecurity, and you should be able to speak English, and Arabic is preferable. And you should have a certification in ISO 27001 lead auditor or lead implementer. We discussed this in our previous video. And in here, it's desirable that you have CISSP, CISA, or CISM. Out of these three, CISA is the easiest to get. CISSP is more advanced, but CISA is a starting point when it comes to information security auditing. And in terms of other standards you should have experience with, ISO 27001 appears here. We have PCI DSS, which is our search term. We have NIST appearing as SANS, ISA 99, Cloud Security Alliance, and a few others. We also have country-specific standards applying in here. And you can see that there are a number of jobs in here which has to do with either specific to PCI or cybersecurity risk and compliance. So you may decide to customize this search and explore further. Okay, so let's quickly look at another standard. And in this case, we'll look at GDPR, which has to do with data privacy. So let's search and see what we would find. Okay, so in terms of GDPR, we have a number of hits. And in Wales, we have a data protection officer, and this has to do with data privacy. And so let's quickly look through and see the experience required. Okay, so in the description section, it says they're looking for a data protection officer with experience in the following areas: level 4 or 5 standard of education, which means a diploma, HND, and you should have a degree or equivalent qualification in higher law or another experience. So in here, an LLB might suffice. If you have some knowledge or experience or educational background in law, then you are likely to secure this role. So let's quickly look at another job posting. So we have UNICEF, and this is a data protection and privacy specialist. So it's a fixed term, and let's quickly look at the job description. Okay, so in the job description, there's a lengthy description of what this job is about. Let's quickly go down and look at what is required. So in terms of minimum requirements, you need a master's degree in international law, data protection or privacy law, and any data protection certification is an asset. And you should have at least 2 years of professional experience, and you should have at least 5 years of experience in data protection and privacy with a strong expertise in data protection legal matters. So this is more of law, but there's some form of IT in there. There are other roles which may be more IT inclined and a bit of law. So you may have to look through these job postings to decide what you may be suited for. So let's look at one more privacy job. And in here we have privacy and AI compliance analyst in Deloitte, Luxembourg. Let's look at the job description. So in this job description, it says that you elaborate impact assessments as required by law, such as DPI ACE, that's a data protection impact assessments, and a few other things. So you support the necessary changes in the record of processing activities and in the governance. And you also conduct comprehensive risk assessments on AI technologies, ensuring they meet privacy and data protection standards and new data legislations as applicable. So in this particular role, you realize you'll be doing some form of governance, you'll be doing some form of risk, as well as compliance. And in terms of your qualifications, you need a master's degree in law or in IT. You need to have some first experience with data protection and privacy sectors. And you should have in-depth understanding of GDPR and other data protection and privacy regulations. And in terms of certifications, it is desirable that you have a Certified Information Privacy Professional Europe or Certified Information Privacy Manager designation. So these are some of the certifications that may put you in a strong position to land this job. Finally, let's look at one more standard. So we'll look at HIPAA. So HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. And again, let's specify worldwide. So for this job search, we have about 614,000 results. And HIPAA has to do with privacy in the health sector. So let's quickly sample a few jobs and see what the requirements are. So this first job listing is a privacy analyst in Kelowna, British Columbia. And in this role, it says the Interior Health is hiring a permanent full-time privacy analyst who is passionate about making a difference in healthcare. Okay, so let's quickly go down and see what this job entails. Okay, so in this role, you conduct regular audits and provide interpretation of results and investigate potential and actual breaches by the interior health users of provincial systems. And you do some form of research and analyze audit data for anomalies, trends, and issues. And a few other things. You can quickly look through these. But when you go down, we would want to see if any certifications are mentioned. So no specific certifications are mentioned in this particular role. So having some experience and having some background in IT or in law should suffice for this role. Okay, so let's look at another role. So here we have the benefits enrollment specialist or data entry specialist. So I presume you may be entering data of patients and you definitely need to adhere to HIPAA. So let's quickly look at that. So it's an entry-level job, it's a remote job. And when you go down, it says key responsibilities. You will support clients through the benefits enrollment process and updates to their healthcare and pension plans. So you deliver top-notch customer service through phone, web chat, and email communication. So in this particular role, it's not really a GRC role, but you'd have to have some knowledge of HIPAA and data privacy, which falls in the domain of GRC, to be able to perform this job. So it's good to have some background, some knowledge of GRC to even perform some of these other jobs. So I believe at this point, you've gained some insights on the job titles and job rules when it comes to GRC, specifically some of these standards and their corresponding IT certifications and experience. So thank you for watching.